Let's get to our top story. Clive Derby-Lewis wants to sue the Justice Minister. Chris Hani's killer is heading to court after the minister suggests that his medical records are fraudulent. Karen Morn has the story and it joins us first up on Newsnight. So just rewind and remind us what the Justice Minister is purported to have said.
Well, he had a press conference on Friday, obviously explaining his rationale behind certain very contentious parole decisions, deciding and explaining why he decided to let apartheid killer Eugene de Kock go, but saying that in the case of Clive Derby-Lewis, who'd applied for medical parole, he had real concerns about samples taken from Clive Derby-Lewis. He revealed during the briefing that Clive Derby-Lewis had been in hospital under a pseudonym and that a cancer patient with the exact same name as the pseudonym had been in hospital at the same time, and that the department wasn't certain as to whether samples obtained for him were authentically his. And those comments, of course, sparked a huge storm on Twitter, people saying, you know, these are allegations of fraud, there needs to be investigation. The minister also saying that he wouldn't rule out the possibility that the eNCA may get involved if there was there was substantiation or justification for a proper criminal investigation.
Is the minister sticking to his story tonight?
Well, essentially what his spokesperson is saying is, look, you know, he did say that this was suspect. He did say that, you know, it was cause for concern, but he never, made blatant statements of criminality against Mr. Derby-Lewis and his lawyer.
Has the word fraudulent been used?
He did not use the word fraudulent, but the lawyer and Clive Derby-Lewis are claiming that because of the kind of speculation that he created and because of the power of suggestion, he is guilty of libel, and they're planning to sue him for 2 million rand for libel and defamation. So this is independent of the furore over the, the parole situation. He wants to sue the minister for money for damaging his reputation.
All right. Legally, what sort of chance does he stand, and what is the minister's response to that?
Well, the minister's spokesman has basically said to me, quote unquote, we'll see him in court. We didn't say that they were guilty of fraud. We just said that the names, the name of the patient and the name of the pseudonym being exactly the same were cause for concern, and we didn't feel we had enough proof to make sure that the results were authentic. Of course, it will really be up to a judge to determine whether or not that's a fair evaluation of things. But certainly the way in which those comments were interpreted were very much to the effect that Clive Derby-Lewis and his lawyer may be complicit in fraud. Any reading of Twitter or social media on the day of the event would show you that. Whether or not that's going to be enough of a basis to substantiate a damages claim for 2 million rand remains to be seen.
Let me just get this clear. There are two separate issues here. One is this legal challenge as far as defamation is concerned and the claims of fraudulent action. The other is an ongoing bid for freedom and his parole. This particular case would not necessarily impact on what I assume is going to be a further parole application at some point.
Well, we have spoken to the lawyer about that. They say they have, he says he has a variety of different options to try and pursue parole. There is an ongoing, indefinitely postponed court case in the High Court at the moment about this exact issue, and it was on the basis of the court case that the minister was forced to make a decision. There are a number of legal avenues open to Clive Derby-Lewis and his lawyers in terms of challenging that decision, and they very much intend to do so. But a huge basis of this pending defamation claim is that the claims about the samples were nothing but a smokescreen designed to distort the fact that the minister made an overtly political decision when he chose not to grant Clive Derby-Lewis medical parole, and that there was actually no legal basis for it, and in besmirching, according to the lawyer, Clive Derby-Lewis's reputation and that of the lawyer, and sort of putting out the story of fraud in order to undermine any public sympathy that may exist for 79-year-old.
Karen Morn, very quickly, is time an issue here, given that the health clock, as far as Clive Derby-Lewis is concerned, appears to be ticking?
Well, they will bring an urgent application if they feel that he's close to death.
Thank you very much. Karen Morn with the very latest on the Clive Derby-Lewis parole saga. This is Newsnight.